Fresh start. This will be much more successful. Okay, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys. We're at the Fourth Ward School, and we have a little interview with a book launch today. And who do we have here in the red dress?
Well, hello. My name is Nora Stefan. I'm the director of the Historic Fourth Ward School Museum. And today's Halloween, October 31st, 2021. And we are at the Grand Hall, or the EL Weekend Room at the Fourth Ward School. And we have special guests here today.
My name is Brenda Findley.
My name is Chasson.
Who are the authors of A Portal in Time at the Chollar Mine. So, tell us about how this book came about, Brenda.
Thank you. I'm happy to. This book is actually a positive result of the pandemic. I went to Chicago to help out with my grandkids. And while I was there, we talked an awful lot about Virginia City, which is where I live. And we talked a lot about Grandpa, who wasn't there with us, and how we used a tour guide at the Chollar Mine. And a story started to come to mind. Yes?
Yeah.
That's right. And so we decided we would think about what might happen if you went to the Chollar Mine, and how could we maybe share the experience of Virginia City today and when?
In the past.
Exactly, in the past. So our characters go to the Chollar Mine, and there's an earthquake. And when they come out, they're in the year 1869, which is very unexpected and very exciting. So that's kind of the story of our story. Carter has been writing or telling stories since he was very little. He's a natural storyteller.
Ooh. Hey, Carter, why don't you tell us a little story what it was like writing this book together?
It was actually kind of good. It kind of changed a lot ever since the start.
You know,
And it was a very fun experience.
yeah.
Thank you.
So you say it changed a lot. I've heard that when people write books, there's two types of writers, people that like plan them and people that grow them. Do you feel like you grow stories?
Yeah.
And what about, do you like, I assume you like reading books too, right? Do you like stories?
Yeah.
But do you like writing them just as much?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite story?
I don't really have a favorite. So.
Yeah.
Carter also likes to write graphic novels.
Oh.
So he's working on his artistic ability as well as his storytelling.
Oh, wonderful.
So Carter, did you find any challenges writing this book?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you give me an example?
An example is coming up with ideas of how it's going to go.
We had to solve the problem of a little legal problem that one of the characters has in the story, and how we're going to get him out of this jam, right?
Yeah.
And then we also thought a lot about some of the interesting characters, people that lived at that time that might have been in Virginia City, and maybe they came here for a little while, and maybe our fictional characters got to meet some of them. So we had a little fun planning that too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how did it go? Was it like you guys would sit around and talk about a story, and then, and then Brenda would kind of show you her work and...
Exactly.
And then we would have reading sessions, and then sometimes at dinner, we would involve the whole family. We'd say, we're stuck on this part. And so maybe Dad might have an idea, or maybe Carter's older brother Zachary might have an idea. So that's, we talked about it as we were writing it.
Yeah.
Question, Carter. So what kind of, if somebody came to you and asked, how do you write a story? Or what is your
number one tip that you can give me for me to write a story, what would it be? So maybe you can help me with the question.
You should probably just start floating.
Yeah, that's great advice.
What about research?
We did some research too, didn't we? Absolutely. It's particularly on people that were alive in that time period and what it was like to be there, what was the neighborhoods were like. Do you remember we talked about the Chinese places where you could get herbs and vegetables and so our country's right there.
Yeah.
So, hey, Car, would you rather live in 1869 or 2021?
2021.
Give us an example why.
I would not really feel happy if I was there back then. I would love to just stay here.
What other challenges back then? Like,
Internet?
That's a big one, huh?
Yes, yes.
Electricity.
Oh, this might reach you.
There you go.
There we go.
So basically, it was much harder times back then.
It was much harder times back then, correct?
Yeah.
Correct. And even our characters had to learn how to do basic things, how to cook, where they could buy things, what kind of, how were they going to wash dishes? There was the issue about the water supply in town, and then we have children who are looking for something fun to do, and what exactly do the children do in 1869?
Can you tell us?
Oh.
They went swimming. They went swimming.
At the CNC pond, which is something that children did in Virginia City in 1869. The CNC pond had cold water instead of hot water. A lot of the mines were pumping hot water, but CNC's was cold. So that's where the kids went swimming. Yeah. And then, of course, there was gold mining and silver mining, and it was very noisy. So they had to deal with that constant noise.
What, I don't want to ask for too many spoilers, but like, who goes back in time? Is it all kids? Is it like some kids and their parents?
It's a family and a tour guide.
Oh. So did the kid have to get a job then?
Yeah. They help the mine.
Yeah. So the oldest son helps with the gold mining because the tour guide has a moment where he realizes that he knows where the gold is because that's a matter of historic record for us. So in order to survive, they need to make money, so they take up gold mining and they stake some claims. And the older son does help with the mining, right? The youngest son is only 6, so he's not able to help much. And then there's a girl who is 12, and she helps watch her brother. And they all kind of pitch in together, help out.
Yeah. You think it would, so Carter, if you fall back in time right now, you think since you're from the future, you'd have an advantage?
Yes, but it was an accident, so they weren't very well prepared.
Yeah.
There's that. It would be a different matter if you could prepare.
Yeah, well, you're prepared now from writing this book, so.
Yeah.
Carter's ready to go back in time. Does anyone else have any questions?
I have a question. So how many kids lived back in the day in Virginia City?
Probably 750.
About that time, it was before the big bonanza when they're there. They're kind of in between. Gold is a thing, and there's mines, but the really big bonanza hasn't hit yet, so the big explosion hasn't occurred.
Yeah, they get to be there for the fun part then.
Oh, yeah.
And it was before the foreclosure.
It was, and in fact, there is an event in this book. It's a fundraiser to build the Fourth Ward
Oh.
school. So that's one of the things that our characters do, is they participate in the fundraiser to build this school.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. We had a good time writing.
Is there going to be another book?
We do have a book planned. We're in the planning stages of another book, a sequel to this one.
Oh. And I got one more question. You ever use any storyboards, you know, like little comic book strips when planning out these scenarios?
No,
Oh.
we used the whiteboard.
Oh, yeah, whiteboard. That's the
We
way to
kind of
go.
drew timelines and used that to make sure that we were catching all of the points we wanted to make along the way.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break, and we are going to have more questions later on.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's an exciting day. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
We do.